Hello, and welcome to our Co-Curricular Code video. My name is Cole Huth. I'm your middle school, high school principal and athletic director. The purpose of this video is to review the rules, guidelines, and expectations for all athletes, parents, and coaches. So with that, the paperwork that is required to participate in athletics here at Royall, the first one is a physical form. All athletes are required to have a physical every other year. If you're not sure if it's a physical year, you can contact your coach or myself, and we'll get you that information. Otherwise, all coaches will have that information upon their first practice. The next one is the emergency contact form. All students at Royall have to fill this out. However, on the back, we also have our co-curricular code agreement where parents and athletes need to sign. Next, we have, below that, we also have the alternate year form. So if it's a non-physical form year, you need to be filling out the alternate year form. Next is the concussion and sudden cardiac arrest information. This basically states that you are aware of the risk involved in concussion and sudden cardiac arrest. And lastly, we have healthy roster. This is how our athletic trainers communicate with parents anytime they provide any treatment to your son or daughter. Next, I want to review the start dates for our fall sports. High school football starts August 6th. High school volleyball starts August 19th. High school cross country also starts August 19th. Middle school football starts August 26th. Middle school volleyball starts September 3rd, and middle school cross country also starts September 3rd. However, middle school cross country athletes, if you wish to participate in the high school cross country practices starting August 19th, you can. All coaches are expected to have a preseason meeting or send home a letter discussing their expectations along with establishing a line of communication with parents. So be looking for that information. Next, I want to discuss attendance. Unless excused, athletes must be in school the entire day in order to participate in that day's practice or event. If you're too sick to get to school on time, you're too sick to practice or participate in that event. This also applies to the day after competition. Sleeping in is not an excused absence. So athletes, if you want to practice and you want to play, you got to be at school. Next, I want to review academic ineligibility. A student athlete can become academically ineligible in one of two different ways. The first way is by receiving an F. If you receive an F, you are now academically ineligible for 15 school days. Once we get 15 days, after those 15 days, I'll be checking grades, and as long as you're demonstrating passing grades, you're good to go. The second way is by receiving an incomplete. If you receive an incomplete after the end of a semester or quarter, the quickest way to become eligible is to simply turn that incomplete into a passing grade. Once it's a passing grade and you show your coach or myself, then you're good to go. However, once we get 10 school days into the next grading period, that incomplete now becomes an F. So now it's time served plus an additional 5 days to get us to the F academically ineligibility rules. And then I'm still going to be checking grades to make sure you are passing at that point. For middle school, it's a little bit different. They do not have incompletes. So middle school athletes, if you receive an F, you are simply sitting out for 25% of that current season. If you receive an F at the end of the fourth quarter, it does carry over to the fall, where you will serve the lesser of 21 calendar days, or 1/3 of the total number of events scheduled for that season. Athletes, you are still required to practice during your academic ineligibility period. Next, I want to review the procedures for sharing a concern. The first step should always be for an athlete to approach their coach. Athletes, I promise you, 99% of our issues can be solved if you approach your coach in an honest and sincere and respectful manner, and your coach will have an honest conversation with you. Most of our problems can be solved with that. However, if it doesn't, parents, you do have the right to contact the coach to set up a meeting, and in that meeting will be the coach, yourself, your athlete, and myself. Some topics that are not up for discussion include playing time, position, game strategy, and topics of that nature. Additionally, I want to remind everyone about the 24-hour rule that we have here. Parents must wait 24 hours after competition before contacting a coach with a concern. If you wait the 24 hours and you still feel like you need to share your concern with the coach, you can do that by setting up a meeting with the coach, yourself, your athlete, and myself. Next, I want to review code violations. A student athlete's first offense will result in 25% of a suspension in 25% of the season. Second offense is 50%, and third offense will result in a suspension from all athletics for 1 calendar year. A couple code violations I want to remind people about. First one includes hosting a party. Student athletes, if you are caught hosting a party where there are drugs and alcohol, you will immediately receive the next highest penalty above the one you would have normally received. So if it's your first offense, but you are hosting a party, you will immediately receive the second offense suspension. Next, I want to remind student athletes that if you do find yourself at one of these parties where there are drugs and alcohol, it is your responsibility to leave immediately. If you are reported to be at one of these parties, but you can prove that you left immediately and you did not consume drugs or alcohol, there will not be a suspension applied. Additionally, I want to remind student athletes about being at establishments where alcohol is served. If you're out with your family at a bar and grill, that's fine. That is not what this rule is about. But I shouldn't see student athletes sitting at a bar by themselves. Don't put yourself in a situation where you're having to explain your innocence. Next, I want to remind people about events like weddings, anniversaries, reunions. I realize in the state of Wisconsin, minors are allowed to consume alcohol when under the supervision of their parents or guardian, but that does not supersede the athletic code. So if you are caught consuming alcohol at a wedding, you will receive a code violation. Lastly, I want to talk about technology and social media. Basically, student athletes, you are responsible for what you send and post. And you can receive a code violation for anything that you post on social media that might depict you doing anything illegal or inappropriate. So in the end, stay away from drugs and alcohol, don't do anything illegal, and be careful about what you're posting on social media. Otherwise, I just want to remind everyone that the Co-Curricular Code is on our school website. If you want a hard copy, you can reach out to me or your coach and we'll get you one. Otherwise, feel free to reach out to me with any questions or concerns you might have. You can find my email and phone number on the school website as well. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I look forward to another year of Royal Athletics.